Hello, hello. I have hijacked the commentary box for the first time this competition. I'll probably be back a little bit. I have no idea when my next game is, so I'm gonna. I might get dragged away pretty quickly. My name is Nick, or Nickel. I am captaining the Turkeys, who are having a great time in last place at the moment. I'm from Canberra, and I am also one of the side ops, or the side op of Canberra. And we are in the second or third game, I think, of Cascade 1. Um, Currently have Sharks, Dragons, and Aftershock. Dragons obviously being a Canberra team, I'm probably a little bit on the biased side there. So we'll go from there. But quiet game to begin with Sharks finding the points everywhere. Almost double the points. Red pushing on the outside of green. And we've got some push coming into red by the look of it. We've got a twitchy last line defender there in Shifter. Clearly getting some calls that there's people at the doors. Blue seems awfully quiet. And I feel their points reflect this. Give me a second, chat. I assume we're on Twitch. Let me try and pull up the Twitch stream on my phone so I can have a look at your chat, your beautiful chat, if you're interested in chatting and talking. There we go. I can see people now. Hi, Joe. Oh, hey. Dragons with their first base. They seem to be doing this quite a lot, actually. They're managing to get these early bases out, which is giving them a bit of a lead. They've had a couple of run-ins where, while they're getting these early bases, they kind of lose it a little bit later. So it'll be interesting to see if they can continue the momentum. Red and blue. Oh, yeah, he's got it. Well done. That's VG managing to defend himself through that open door. Nice and clean. Two bases in quick succession for Dragons, putting them ahead now, and their pack points have kind of made up the difference as well. Aftershock still struggling with the points. The game's not come to them, and their defensive players have left very, very... I say that. Green has walked into their base. So... lots of green in blue. Lots of green in blue. There you go. That was well played. Swamped it with 3 attackers. So that's green's first base. And Aftershock is finding themselves on the receiving end of this. Yeah, Sharks are definitely were hard farming Dragons to begin with. But I feel like Dragons' bases here are sort of putting them ahead. Like, they're not ultimately ahead by a huge amount of pack points, but they're still got that momentum going. People will have heard the bases going down. Aftershock, known generally for fairly... Oh, plank. Nice and clean. Oh, well defended. I'm trying to work out where Aftershock's players are, because they're having people get into their base, but they're also not getting the points elsewhere, and we can't see them attacking other bases. So, Holmes is having a rough time trying to defend his home base. Hi, Rocky in the chat. Oh, method. One shot denied. By red, I think that was as well. I missed that. I looked at the chat at the same time. Sorry, guys. And as we sort of creep into the halfway mark, we still have Dragons with a 1 base advantage, but it is basically the base that is the advantage, just under. Aftershock is falling further behind with this. Though, from a pack point perspective, they're actually much the same as Sharks. If they... Oh, no, I'm a liar. I'm absolutely lying. I'm really tired, clearly. For some reason, my math just died there. So, I'll readjust myself here for a moment. Red reposting itself up. Oh, green pushing in. There you go. That's a huge, that's a big take. Gun also grabbing a base though as well. Green and red swapping there. And blue is left, again, seemingly without points. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Aftershock decide to like make a move here and dump out of their base. And if they do, though, they have to get these bases. Like they've got a lot of room to catch up on, a lot of time to catch up on. We have blue in green. First real time we've seen them sort of push hard into another base. Judge. Very clean base, well defended. And there's the first base for Aftershock, coming in at the 7-minute mark of the game. Blue is sort of stacked up in there. They've still got defenders though, so definitely not committing the whole team to it. Holmes is definitely lacking the points though, so we're going to see how it goes. Oh, green back in green base now. Red is quiet again as the game looks like it's moved to green. We've got red. Red is now in blue. There's enough of them. This should be another clean base. So what are they thinking? Dragons feel like they've probably got... Dragons, I feel like they probably know that they are running ahead at the moment. They've got more bases than the others. They know their base isn't dropping except for that one. Church getting... oh, commentator's curse almost. One shot denied. Green is also in blue. Green is in red. And green is in green. Green is in everywhere. Green taking everything. Fuggin, getting red. So blue is piled into red. This is probably the dump. Green knows it's dumped. So green is going to cycle blue now. Though they only need 2 more players to get it, Method and Arbel. Oh, I'm in the next game. I should probably go there. Sorry, guys. Enjoy the rest of the stream. I will be back after this, and we'll go from there. Up next could be wrong, I've been told. We'll see. Bear with me. Someone will come and find me. I'm on the stream. It's not like I can be anywhere. I can be anywhere else in the building. Dragon. Oh, one shot denied. Method taking the denied there. And blue now piling in through red. Red is also inside of blue though. Oh, green. Green just walking in and taking it from red in blue base. Oh, that's unfortunate. Gus was just looking the wrong way. And Aftershock still has... So Aftershock needs to make these points up in bases. They have 2 more people that need red. And then they need to move that on to green. And green is still defending. Judge on red. Oh, the sneaky move. Just avoiding that defensive dive from Shifter there. So will... Oh, red picking up the blue base. Dragon. Oh, well defended. I feel with Dragons being able to cycle that blue base, I feel Aftershock now has a minute and a half to get green. And they really need to be on green now. They've got to go now because they need green at least twice, if not 3 times, to really make this work. Because Shifter is going to go and get the blue base. Oh. Red committing a lot of players to the empty base just to make sure they get it. Green is now defending very, very heavily from a fully dumped blue. The question is, how fast can blue get it? Holmes picking it up. With 1 minute, you've probably got about 2 more bases to get. And problematically now, red, if they want more bases, they are going to have to go to green. So you are now going to have blue, green, and red all trying to go for green base. Did I miss the fact that Garn hadn't got that base? I'm in 4 games from now. Thank you, Jono, in the chat. Appreciate that. So please disregard the up next teams. We will play the who's playing next game when we see them walk in. Last 20 seconds. I feel like Aftershock has just left this slightly too late. They're just not going to get it. I say that as Mikey. Oh, 1 shot denied by red. And this is problematic. This is the problem. There's too many players there now. All right, well done. I think Dragons honestly played that normally the best out of those 3 teams, but the game just ended up coming to Sharks, and they just managed to get those points. You look at those tag ratios, especially from Madcans, Plank, Stinky, like they're all very, very high. Method and Arbel also, 100% tag ratio than 114. So really, really good. Definitely some tag ratios on Dragons, pretty good. Tag ratio isn't always the best, I guess, statistic for how well a team goes, especially with bases worth so much. But you do look at some of the tag ratios across the teams, and it illustrates sort of the sorts of games people had. Denials across the board. Garn miss a base, never. I think the key thing with Garn is I missed that he hadn't got blue. So I thought Aftershock was in with a closer chance to pick up those bases out of green and maybe pip the Dragons into third. But didn't happen in the end. And that's good. I'm glad. I'm a little bit sad that Dragons didn't come first. Their packets just weren't quite as good. And, the game went to green, and that's where they got the packets. And that difference is there of almost 6,000 points, or almost 7,000 points worth of packet differences. Okay. So who's in this next game? Chat. Does someone have the website that tells us what teams are in the next game? Maybe. In the chat, if we've got anyone who's playing or anyone who's been watching, what base do you think is doing the best? I don't know what the statistics are. I haven't actually seen it. Again, someone in the chat can go on Laserbase and find out what the statistics are. My bet is that red or green is currently winning as far as bases that take first place. I think blue is the weakest of the 3 bases. All right, the next game supposedly is Catalyst, Storm, and Rampus. With Catalyst on red, Storm on blue, and Rampus on green. We will see them wandering in shortly. And then we'll go from there. Oh dear. Oh yeah. Game's about to start. Nick's about to fall asleep. I have red eye somewhere. Can't find it. Okay, we got red meandering out, Husky being sad underneath the base because that's his spot. That's his lot in life. Green there. Storm having a few players deciding not to pull the trigger initially. Red finding the pack points on blue. With Storm picking up pack points across the board. For those that don't know, and I might be wrong here on the statistics, that way, that way. The little percentages next to their scores is kind of where the scores have come from, I believe. So Storm is getting a fairly even percentage of it, where Catalyst is getting more of their score from, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's basically what it is. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought, Worthy. I got it right. My big brain. Storm, wherever they are, I suspect they're playing sort of up around the back of red and onto the ramp. And I know we just said red and green are the stronger bases, and Storm's, doing a good start out of blue here. So we'll find out how we go. Husky clearly liking the ability to bend over more than 90 degrees because, that was a rule at Worlds where you weren't allowed to do that. You would have got termed for that, mate. We'll go from there. Storm's still making the points, but no one's really getting into the bases, so all of these points are coming from there is a raised section in the center of the maze, and obviously around the edges here. I say that, and whole bunch of blues hitting red there. Husky picking up some nice little points there. We have a very quiet blue base, and a very quiet green base as well, actually. Sorry, guys. Bit yawning. So Storm definitely still picking up more of their points from the red team, which means they're probably throwing players down that side of the maze, in sort of the back door of red. I say that red is in blue. Just too many blue defenders swarming home. That was a two-shot deny, I believe. Yeah. Unfortunate for Wax there. And it's just hand Storm a few extra points. Who are people going for here? Do we have preferences of winning? Cool Beans is almost like an honorary Cam Baron at this point, given how much he's played at the site. So maybe I'm going to have to go for them. And they're losing, so that's not a great idea. I bullied Husky in a game earlier today, so maybe I should also go for them. They're winning. That sounds like a better idea, doesn't it? Husky doing an amazing job in that last line. I can only imagine that there's probably some really good calls there, but just that movement there, playing a kind of a spot where you're not actually up against a wall, you play what's known as almost like a dead zone, where you can stand comfortably without being tagged from various doors because of the pillar or whatnot. Which means you kind of work out that you've got a fair bit of movement in there to spin and twist without actually exposing any part of your body. So definitely an interesting play, and most teams we see playing that spot in red, which is quite different to the spots in blue and green, which obviously you have to panel, you get really close up to those walls. Storm for the dub in chat. So I really like bases where you can play these little dead zones in it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think there's a lot of skill involved in it. So it's good to see. We've got one of them in Canberra at the moment, where you can play the base from a sort of a dead zone area. Go from there. Empty green base as people try and push in. Rampus is picking up the points there. Red, straight in, dodge, one tag. He went for that base straight away, so either he was very confident or was just really, really wanted to have a crack at it. So, giving green a few more denial points and pulling their point score back up. We are coming into the halfway mark with no bases and pack points really within a hair's breadth of each other. So it'll be really interesting to see whether or not any team decides to kind of make a stronger go of these bases. We are starting to see some sort of mid to late game dumps out of teams. I feel like, the world's come full circle when we're in a Queensland maze and we're playing dumps out of the base seems to be pretty standard. Lobo. Oh, he's got it. First base of the game, going to Catalyst. And it looks like they're stacking into that base. They're going to try and hold it. Husky's still in red base, doing his darndest, but it looks like there's probably about 4. And red's going to stick around, I suspect. Blue is now in a position where they're going to have to start to do something because the game's sort of moving away from them as far as where the game is actually being played. I was going to say, how many people do we have in the chat? We've got a few. All right. Game settled down a little bit. Catalyst has kind of, I think, put a few more people back into the defensive game. Blue is sort of still posted up there. We can see a number of blue players there, so they're going to be close. And green has calmed down as far as the base goes, and those players are going to be out further, getting more points. As we settle back in, red, with only one base down, red probably feels fairly confident here with the only base of the game. And it's really on potentially the other teams to kind of start to make something of this in the last sort of 4 minutes of the game. And this is where you've got different captaining styles. I suspect we are going to see a Storm dump at about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. Red is now back in green, but you've got a couple of blues there as well. There you go, three reds there. Dodge getting the base. That'll make him feel better as well, having got the 2-shot deny on there earlier. So things, and once again, they've stacked into that base. You've now got green reacting to this by going straight into blue. Oh, the sneaky little. He's a big man, incidentally. Spider is a big man, and he used that pillar really, really well. Really, really well. So. Alright, Wax. Oh, he's gonna get it. Whoa. Trusting that last shot rather than trying to defend himself. I'm hearing some chatter from outside, and yeah, we might point this out. Obviously, Husky currently with 18-0. He hasn't actually been tagged this game. So an infinite tag ratio. I'm sorry. Commentator's curse for everyone watching at home. I'm sorry, guys. Zam, now getting red. Denial by Husky. Husky doesn't care. Got tagged. It was a tactical tag. He got tagged. He walked out to get the deny a moment later. He is probably having a bit of fun. Commentator's curse, absolutely commentator's curse, but he got a deny for it, so maybe it's not quite commentator's curse. So Catalyst has 3 bases now. Once again, they're probably feeling fairly comfortable as we come into the last 2 minutes. I think we are going to see a Storm dump in the last 2 minutes. I said that earlier. Let's see if I'm right. Because if they don't, I don't think Storm has done enough. I say that, and Storm Firebird hits it. It's not a dump, but they've got the base there, and they are stacking into green. They are not going to red. They are trying. They seem to be trying to ignore red, which I think is really, really interesting. Green, cool beans. Well played, mate. Well played. Well defended on that blue player coming in. So green and blue potentially have just base swapped for all intents and purposes. Someone's making a joke outside that base swapping and dumping and things has become meta, given that it is something that Queensland, I feel, has been against the idea of base dumping and swapping for a long, long time, and yet it's become a fairly standard practice as we play competitive games. But the swap happened at about 2 minutes to go. The real question here is now, can red capitalize on this? Because if they don't, unfortunately, Rampus and Storm are just going to get these bases, and Catalyst with their 3 bases is actually going to start to struggle, and they'll get out base run. Yeah, so this is really unfortunate for Catalyst. I feel like they need to make a move here, otherwise something is going to happen, and they must know, right? Unless they're like, they've got a few people at their base, but so there you go. Peregrine taking green. Oh, blue's managing to take red. There you go. Cool Beans taking blue. Red's in blue. It's just not enough time. And that's game. That is ultimately well played by Storm. They just managed to get the bases. Unfortunately, Catalyst, I just don't think reacted fast enough to the base swap, which is really unfortunate. They were ahead on the bases. If they could have managed to bully their way into one of the bases, say force, green to take their base, and then they could take blue base, they would have out base raced the rest of the teams because they were ahead already on it. So well played by Storm to get the base. I mean, green dumped it out as well, so green kind of potentially handed it a little bit to Storm, but I mean, they were on their heels the whole time as well, so that's unfortunate. Massive tag ratio for Husky at 725%. We just weren't maybe seeing the pack points from red at the back end of that game. Bunch of denials across teams. Shot coming out with a really nice score, despite a negative tag, nominally negative tag ratio, the 92%. But 2 denials as well, getting a few extra points out of that. It's very interesting hearing the crowd out the front talk about what they're seeing. But yeah, when you play this game, obviously base swaps are one of those. It's really really rubbish being on the receiving end of a base swap, in the sense that you're red, you're holding your base, you're ahead, and the other 2 teams just decide to swap bases and give each other 5 bases effectively. Like, the game is entirely on you then to have to bully one of those teams out. And that makes it's really difficult. It's a really difficult call. Like, who do you do it? You need to have a very, very good read of the game beforehand to make the decision. Or if you have one particular team that you just truly don't want to win. But you almost need to push 3 or 4 players to try and fight a base dump, because they're going to have 5 there, maybe 4. So really, really hard. So I feel for Catalyst there. I feel like they played the better game for the majority of the game. No, they did not react well enough at the end. And they just didn't get enough bases early on to deal with it. It was, and well played by Storm, ultimately, in the end. They're the ones that triggered that base dump and went from there. And they did it without actually leaving their base entirely at the start of their dump. So, power to them. Sharks, Fire Nation, and Dragon D's into this game. Being a Cascades, this is, I believe, this Dragon taking the early the early base. Another really early base for Dragons. And they've been doing this a lot, so it will be interesting to see. This, I think, should be a Sharks first, Dragon second, Fire Nation third, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Sharks definitely taking the points from blue. Fire Nation is sort of just getting points at both of them. Red is in blue base at the moment, which is... Green is in red, and So where is... So we've got a red player in... Blue is very empty still. Have they dumped? Have they done? Have dragons dumped their? Oh no, they've got players there. They've got players there. So I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure how a red player decided to sit in their base for like the better part of 30 seconds, and then get the base. Perhaps poor communication, maybe trying to get some points in when the base went down. But yeah. Okay, let's see as it settles in. Every team's got one base. Red just shooting each other out from underneath their own base, I think. So, yeah, Arbor wanted the spot, clearly. Oh, green. Wow, good take, but Bembo. It's a very good take from the Sharks base there. Fly Nation with two bases. Only ahead by a base, though. The pack points are very, very similar, with Dragons being a little bit behind on the pack points, but not by much. People have got to be really careful about exiting that base. Red doing a really good job of holding that. Now, Dragon from Dragons is in. Got out pretty quickly. No one covering that A door. Gotta love that 90-degree hold in blue base there. Chat, who are we going for? Also, chat, I might have to disappear after this game because I might have to go talk to my team. We'll find out. I think I've got two. I've got this game, and then I've got two more, and then I'm in, I think. Or one more, then I'm in. Let's go, Dragons. Oh, VG Master denied. Trying to pick. Oh, taking it there. VG Master denied someone. Sorry, apologies. Okay, settling back in. Oh, green's still doing a really good job getting inside that red base. Not being able to hold inside it at the moment, but base is down. VG Master taking his green base. That puts him on one, Gus on one, and Dragon on one. Green, however, sweeping into red and also taking that at the same time. And at the same time, oh, Bembo. Warning for Benbow. We didn't see that. I feel like you've got a lot of blue players at green, and you do not have anyone in the green in the blue base. Oh, Gus just couldn't fight both sides of that. Oh no, Shift is still in blue. Dragon D's with three bases now, and that is putting them ahead. But they are really just ahead by that base. Fly Nation definitely... Oh, come on, Snake. Hit twice. Gonna clear it? Yeah, well done. Fly Nation ahead on bases, but they are behind on pack points by a fairly large margin. But if they can keep getting bases, that's a very viable strategy to win the game. Western taking blue, and they're taking both bases. So kudos to green here. Oh, it looks like they might be losing their base. Yeah, there you go. Dragon getting the second base. We should note that the Dragon's not always an attacking player, so two bases, easy two bases, clean. No denials there. Well done. It might be interesting to see whether or not we see Dragon come back to defend perhaps a little bit more off that. Maybe taking Aaron back out to attack. Yeah, you see Dragon back in the... Dragon being a player on the Dragons team, going back into blue there, and probably swapping Aaron out. Aaron being Azorin. However, green and red in blue. Shifter cleaning up there as the final one. Blue is in red. VG, nice and clean. Well covered by Gus. And we still have a fairly quiet green base. And now we're starting to see that difference in pack points. Red going for blue. That's very clean. Covered doors. There you go. So as we start to move in, Sharks, while behind by 2 bases, are very similar in pack points to the Dragons. So really all they need is the bases. We're going to start seeing Dragons push some more bases through here. Green is currently in red. Zoran in blue. Sorry, in green. Oh, 2-shot denied by red. Is blank gonna... Oh. Green is becoming a very expensive base for these teams. And that will benefit Fire Nation from a points perspective. Ems? Oh, missed the base! Oh, Ems! Just not taking a moment just to aim that shot into the base, taking a bit of a wild swing and managed to get 2-shot denied for it. That's unfortunate. Oh, Western taking a warning again as well. Sorry. Ems going back for that base. Gets it clean this time. Well done. Red is in green. Green is in blue. Red is empty. This is going to be one of those weird moments where if there are red defenders, they're on the outside, but we really need to see Dragons get Shifter into that red base to get that easy base for them. Shazza in red. So green's taking advantage. Oh. Shazza got it, but blue was there. That was a Zoran there. So Zoran already has red base, so unless Zoran is there with Shifter, then that was a really interesting place to be for him. Red's still set up inside of the green base. Green is now finding that blue base empty. Arbol taking green. With 3 minutes left, there you go. You've got Shifter in red. There you go, nice and clean. Blue still has a defender. Red is defending green base. Red is all in on green base, and they do need it just one more time. And then they are going to blue. And Fire Nation now, despite having the same bases, this is where their packets warning for Arbol. Oh, come on, guys. Get out of the way. Azoran taking green base. Sneaky around that pillar. M's taking red. And it just feels like Sharks are starting to just not get these bases here. But if Sharks... Will Sharks stick around? It looks like they are. Shazza 1-shot into blue. 1-shot denied. Red is now still, once again, inside Mad Cans, going for the green. Starting to see Sharks start to pick back up. But in all this confusion, Dragons have actually managed to pull the pack points away a little bit. They are actually pack points clear of both Fire Nations and Sharks if they get this next base. Sharks is coming up to them, though. And yeah, so Stinky there absolutely is. If they know Stinky needs it, he's going to have a really rough time there if there are multiple teams defending that base. It does beg the question is maybe do red go to blue? They need 2 players through it. That would potentially... Oh, Stinky. Sneaky through the wall behind the pillar. That's actually really, really well taken. Really, really well taken on that pillar there. Completely able to protect himself from the A door, which is the one on the left-hand side of the screen there. The front door. Different teams called different doors, different things. And with a minute left, or less than a minute left, we now have a really, really close thing. So Dragons need to go to green, and they're in there at the moment. Stinky, we're getting red. Yeah, getting the blue base. There is a lot of red players in there. They can get that base again. And dragons haven't managed. There you go. Shifter, hit it once, twice. So getting shifted that base there was really, really good. But what we have now is like Gus. Does Gus have enough time to get it again? Red is just piled into blue, and I'm afraid that they're actually going to get that base. They're going to guarantee that base, which puts them on 10. Yeah. Oh, well defended. Oh, I almost was worried for a base jump line jump there right at the end, but that base sealed it just. I think that is how the predictions would have put it as, with Sharks first Dragons then Fire Nation. Fire Nation did a really good job, but they really needed to, with the lack of packets, they really needed to find those bases, maybe get all 10 of them. Tag ratios across the Dragons team weren't super great. You definitely had a couple of like high tag ratios on the red, sort of starting to show that pack points. I don't think, even if there are after game terms, I don't think we're likely to see any major impact to the game. Even if, for instance, we saw a blue player potentially have got a term right at the end of the game there from base jumping, like jumping the lines while they were down. We can't see what teams are playing next. Sorry, but if you jump onto laserbase dot something, I think it might be laserbase.com. It is .com. Yeah. I think it's just .com. Laserbase.com.au. You have a live sort of basically run of all the scores, and you also have the up. Pardon? The up next will be fixed soon as well. All right, I see not my team in the green base. Where are the other teams? Okay, none of these are my team. That's good.
The numbers next to the team are now updated to the ranking.
Oh, amazing. Which we can't see yet until they start.
Correct, but you can see it. Last game's there.
Yeah. Okay, so when my stream doesn't have a beautiful blue logo of Windows 11, no, that's fine. It flickered a couple of times. Excellent. Okay, so the up next will be fixed soon. But what we do have is the teams that are playing, when they start playing, you're going to see, except for blue team.
And when someone else led.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not Ninja logged in.
Yeah, okay. So the numbers you see before the names is the current rank they were going into Cascade 1. So, Spartan Storm, 1-up. We expect to see Spartans win this. Storm come second and 1-up come third. Now, obviously, this isn't always the case, but that is the predicted one. For those playing at home, who might not have seen this or who watch this vid back later, when you play Cascades, you tend to play 3 games or 6 games. One of those games you're expected to win, one of those games you're expected to come second, and one of those games you're expected to come third. There is some complications when you get to right at the top of the roster and right at the bottom, but that's roughly how you do it. So this is a game that Spartans walk in expecting to win, though it's obviously a harder game with Storm only one place below them. As the game starts off, we're a minute and a half into it. Storm's making quite a lot of points off the red team here. Storm's managing to farm the green team, so they're farming each other. And 1-up is just a little bit behind on packs, a little bit quieter. They're getting some reds, but one of their players hasn't even fired a shot yet. Running around doing run things. Ningy, which I assume is Twinkles. So, quiet start to the game. Again, with these teams, that's not. Oh, I say that. Oh, run! Run doing run things. Run doing run things. Just walks in and gets a base. My goodness. First base of the game. 2 minutes and sort of 20 seconds into it. Who do we think is winning here? Like, One Up is a very interesting version of One Up at the moment. With a few of the Hobart players playing into it. It's super sad to see that One Up isn't going to make it to nationals. I was talking to some of them. I think it's the first time in 10 years that they're not going to have a team at nationals, and that's super sad. Like, they were playing when I left the scene a decade ago, and they're still playing when I came back. So, it's sad for that. Red sweeping into green, getting tagged out. Do we have the chat? Do we have a preference of who wins? Do we think it's going to be the current one? Who do we want to win? Spartans have obviously been playing fairly well, coming second. Storm's had a couple of interesting ones, but I think broadly they've pulled their wins back, even though they've had some games that looked a little bit rough. We almost, as the last team, almost beat One Up into a third place. We didn't quite manage it, but you know. But One Up's had a bit of an interesting run through as well. Storm for the win. Yeah. And as we sort of creep through into the 5th minute, Storm playing again a really defensive game. I do suspect we're going to see Storm play a defensive game, and I do suspect we're going to see Storm probably dump towards the end again. Like, this seems to be the way they play. They play a fairly defensive game and try and take those sort of points at the back end of it. So we are going to see probably quite a lot of these sort of slower games as we get lower in the Cascade. So the teams that are sort of in that sort of 10th to 15th marker, I suspect we'll see a few more early base heavy games. But yeah, these top teams do tend to kind of lean towards a heavy defense. Lots of bases at the end, often in the case of swapping bases, dumps of some description. Chat. Do we think there's going to be a base dump this game? And at what minute is the base dump? Let's take bets. Let's go for it. I reckon there's a base dump at 2 minutes to go by Storm. So as we sort of go into, as we creep into the sort of halfway mark, we can't see. Obviously, one of the things, and I don't know whether or not from a media perspective, we're going to have it for nationals. Whether or not we'll have a couple of cameras in the sort of upper section of the maze, which gets to see some of the interplay between the bases. Green in blue. Oh, blue's there. Green's safe in there. Green's going for it. Oh, 2-shot denied. That's almost just waited slightly too long to take that base. Maybe could have tried to take it before and defend themselves from the door on the right-hand side of the screen there, rather than defend themselves and then shift and then try and have to defend themselves against the player that was definitely going to be up. But unfortunate for Potato there. 2-shot denied. Red in blue. Ooh, no, gone. Red is not in blue anymore. Blue's back, sort of stacked in underneath it there. Green pushing into blue. Are they willing to take that base? Blue's sweeping back through it, clears it out. It is quiet in the red and the green base, especially that green base. We can see a couple of green defenders as well. which means they're not getting points. But the green team is still getting points out on the attack side of things. Blue, oh no, red. Red is now pushing, making their presence known at the green base. And we're going from there. Is my team up next? If you can, I'm not sure if you can see it. Hey! We're just trying to work out whether or not I'm meant to be in the next game. Oh dear. I am clearly tired, guys. Quiet as we creep. Yeah, that's the next game. Oh, excellent. Okay, let's see. I will disappear in a minute or two, guys, because I'm in the next game, and we're going to go from there. Thank you for being with us. I'll see if I can drop back in again. I've got at least 2 games tonight, I think. So if I can get myself back into this chair a little bit later, I will. Otherwise, you will see me again tomorrow. We want to see red going into blue. Peregrine, well defended, wrapping himself around that pillar, making himself far harder to shoot from the other side, and defending himself while getting that base. That was really, really well played. So that's 1 base apiece now, and we do see Storm though with a significant lower pack points there. You can even see it on the grid here. You can see the green and blue lines. They're definitely a higher angle than red, which is red is sort of stagnated quite a bit through here before that base. So Taipan taking blue, nice and clean. So Spartans are going to feel probably pretty good there with the 2 bases there. They probably understand that only 1 or 2 more bases have gone down. Red is now in blue. Has 1 up. No, 1 up. I was going to say has 1 up done. 1 up has not done. 1 up is there. Yeah. All right, guys. You're going to let me know if I'm right. I predicted a Storm dump in about 30 to 40 seconds. But I will chat to you guys later. Have a lovely night. We'll go from there.
What'd you say? I can hear you thinking, man.
What is up, party people? Are you coming to join me? Oh, hell.
I don't know where my teammate is, that I've got to give a lift home, so...
You're fine.
Hi guys, I did say I might be back.
He is back, the one and only. If you don't know me, you missed the previous stream. Insomniac from Rustic.
My name is Nickel, I'm from Turkeys, or for those that watch, I'm from the Crows, I captain the Crows out of Canberra.
Currently winning pre-nats 3.
Yeah, we are, if we're playing golf.
Pretty sure it is golf.
Look, I've got a young team, so it's definitely, we came in knowing that it was going to be a little bit rough.
You having fun?
Yeah, I think so. We got one of our guys is a bit sick, which is a little bit rough. So we've got 3 of them have never played nationals.
Yeah.
One of them has never played a competition away from Canberra, kind of thing. So, but
So you're learning.
I'm having fun. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Wax with the first base.
Yeah, big base there by Wax, really setting the tone for Storm and Rampus.
Yeah.
Letting him know I am tall and this is my base.
Storm does have the pack points at the moment. Rampus isn't too far behind.
Yeah.
So I think the next up Sharks Dragon D's is wrong.
Yeah,
think that's
I would
tomorrow's.
ignore them. Yes.
This is actually a replay game, I believe.
This is one of the 2.
There's 2, yeah, which is weird. I might get dragged away for my teammate because I have the car.
No,
and,
he can wait. We actually see a very interesting statistic here. 79% of Catalyst points are from Blue. So
Yes.
from that Storm team.
Yeah, and we find, I think, as we're starting to see this, the red-blue corridors are a little bit longer. You can actually effectively see each other from from 2 spots which you'd normally hold, and you can basically see each other down that corridor.
Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Which means the exchange in points there is often higher than elsewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's really interesting. So as we're starting to see the bases kind of which ones people prefer to play out of.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Do you have a preference yet?
Yeah to no, depending on what we really want to do. Red's been our worst.
Really?
Yeah. We
I think-
cannot seem to figure it out.
I think red and green statistically are winning.
It's weird because blue I think is our best.
Interesting. We've seen some wins out of blue. Obviously, like it's not entirely, and it's given that it's a relatively short comp from a game numbers perspective.
Yeah.
We probably won't get the same sort of like leveling out as you do at nationals, where people learn what to play and how to play it.
Yeah. Because obviously nationals, you have a lot more training.
Yeah.
You actually understand the arena and all the silly shots like Alien and
Yeah, and I mean beyond that, you also have you have a large number of games in the actual competition. So Dodge.
going for his getting 2
denied.
shots denied by Zam.
Really interesting. So, clearly was not comfortable that back door that we see over the half height was covered, so he was quite low. But in doing so, he just did not watch that A door or front door.
Front door,
sorry.
yeah.
Different teams call them different things.
So
We
good.
call it
I
A.
originally played for WA, so
Yeah,
I'm on the A and B.
B.
Yeah, I'm on the B door.
Because back when A and B really became a thing, the WA scene was the biggest scene in Australia. With 3 mazes, we're talking about a decade back now.
We still got
15 years.
I think
back?
we got more than 3 now.
Three
I
mazes.
think there's more than 3 mazes.
Yes, there's the original 3,
Yep.
which are now all
Plus
unfor-
another
laser
one.
force,
Dodge
and there's
going
another
for-
one.
Yeah. Dodge getting
Nice.
his as well. I actually think they're all laser force now.
Oh, really?
But yeah, don't quote me on that.
I thought there was one pin. I thought there was one zone one there. No, I could be wrong.
No. We our old training was at time zone, and we used to bring sheets and a clamp, and clamping up to walls. Shout out Shreds, taught me a lot. Shot going for his red base.
There is
Getting
red.
one
Red is
shot.
whoa! Look at the
Dodge
number.
going for his red. Green.
Yeah, Dodge going for green, getting it clean because everybody was at red just then.
Who needs to be at green? You got the
Yeah,
red base.
Shot getting.
Going for it again.
It's with the spin.
With about 8 spins, still spinning,
Still alive.
spinning.
Stay in the base,
He
son.
leaves alive.
Wow.
Walks in, leaves alive.
I have had a couple of absolutely ridiculous takes out of red as well. So
Crouch and hope. It's
yeah.
my philosophy right now.
it was so. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting mess because there's a lot of movement in it. The sneaky run, which you see in blue and red, having that sort of outside run in, like that outside ring inside the base.
Yeah.
You got green now going for it.
Dart, 2 in.
Dart.
Getting denied.
Yeah, two in by Dart. He got sort of sandwiched between two red players, and Firebird just
red.
waltzing on in on the back of that.
He does not care that there is 15 players there.
Apparently.
That is his base now.
You got Cool Beans defending green. There, a very nice sort of switch hold underneath there. Rampus, of course, is quite a defensive team. So is Storm.
Could see a late dump here.
If we see a Rampus dump, I reckon we see it at about 3 minutes to go.
Do you reckon it'll work? Who you got? Who are you taking to win this game?
I think Rampus potentially has it. Storm's dump generally comes at about 2 minutes to go. It's usually a late one.
I think they have a certain amount of bases that they dump at no matter what, like a certain amount of number.
I think they do, but as a standard, if the game is quite slow, you will see them dump almost without fail at about 2 minutes to go.
They are only one base down. I don't actually see him Storm dumping in this situation. Dark going for his red.
Oh, that was just hope that no one gets you. He did move, to his credit, he did tuck back into that.
I did see the tuck, yeah. It creates that extra
step that front door has to kind of put through it. So well played by Dart there. At least probably aware that there was people there, and rather than try and defend himself from it, he just kind of like.
Especially with the pincer move as well, with one coming each from each door, it's a really hard defensive move to play.
Yeah. He seemed fairly comfortable by that back door. Knew there. That was really good. Going back to the dump question, Rampus with one base now is going to feel a little bit more comfortable. I
Getting
suspect.
very close, just up here.
Yeah.
Pack point increases is definitely coming.
It's whether or not Rampus feels like their pack points are high enough, right?
Yeah.
And if they're tracking that Storm's got two bases, they may not care. I do tend to think that Rampus dumps earlier. So I've seen Rampus dump at about the 8-minute mark, which is around now. I would not be surprised to see a Rampus dump in the next sort of 60 seconds.
So are you taking...
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yep.
I think Storm will dump it too.
I don't think Storm's going to dump this game. I think they're about to get a Peregrine through a base or somebody else through the base.
I'm not.
Peregrine is in the base and getting one shot denied by Husky there.
Yeah, Husky being the machine that he is in defense. So no, I reckon they will. I reckon they do not have enough bases. Even with two of them, I don't think there's enough bases there. You can still see they've got a couple of players at home.
Yep.
And you look at Moss and Bones' scores. Spider picking up.
It's going to be big for them, yeah.
Yeah, that's really big. And I actually think this is going to add to this idea that Storm will dump at that last 2 minutes.
I agree on that sense now. Especially unless they have already.
That might be it. That base state might have been it.
Yep.
I think which is a little bit early for them, I suspect. You will now see Rampus dump, in response.
I wonder if they swap and hold. It did happen in a previous game.
So Catalyst lost a game where they smashed the first part of it. And it was against Storm and 1UP, I think it
Husky
was.
had a 1400% tag ratio at the end of the game.
Yeah. So, but the problem is they got 3 bases early. Catalyst played the first 8 minutes of that game better than either team. And the other two teams swapped at the end. Now, we've seen Catalyst now, basically, the moment a dump got called, Catalyst is now dumped back into green. And that is the way to deal
stop
with
that,
it.
yeah.
It's not even to stop with it. You just have to deal with it,
Yeah.
right? And if you think you're ahead anyway, if you can then dump into a base that you haven't got many of, you can just cycle that base, and it becomes a base race. And if you assume that you are winning, because you feel like the game has been at your base, you should be ahead on packs.
You should be,
realistically. If everyone gets even bases over the last 2 minutes of the game,
you come out on top.
Which is what they didn't do in the game, and they just let two teams kind of swap bases and run 5 bases against them.
A lot has happened in the
in the ensuing conversation.
What's that? 1, 2, 3.
So you got
4, 5, 6, 7 bases.
Yeah. Which is what you expect when you have all the teams basically
swapping,
play rotations. Yeah. You've got green and blue. You had blue and red, and you have red and green. So you now have 3. So red team now has 3 green bases, right?
Yes. Moss going for his red as
This is a really interesting. Blue now has all of red. So they have to go to green now for
and
points.
fight the Catalyst,
Yeah.
which could lead to a Rampus
Yes.
really making a play through here and just pointing. Husky actually getting denied. Moss
Yeah.
going for his green and
getting
getting it.
So this is exactly it. This is where the game might here play into Rampus's favor, assuming Storm doesn't get through blue base faster than Catalyst. Now,
Yes, which is realistically, it's going to be a bit of a difficult game with 15 people there.
yeah, Zam getting the red base. The only other thing that you potentially see here, so Husky getting blue. So the problem we now have here,
Oh, big.
right? Peregrine's going to get green. The problem we have now here, Catalyst has decided not to fight them at green.
Yes.
So Catalyst has now gone to blue. But it means Storm is going to hit 10 bases before anybody else,
Yes.
and by a significant margin. Right?
And I believe, if I did the math correctly,
Yeah.
if Catalyst comes second or third in this replay game,
Yeah.
they are now second in the comp
Ah.
to the Spartans.
Yeah, there you go. That's big. So,
This game does mean a lot, even though it is
I-
played at 2:03 in the morning.
yeah, is it 2?
It is 2.
Oh, Jesus. So
Um,
Shock getting Shock getting
Shock getting his, and
So-
that's going to wrap the game.
So it's really easy for us to say it out here, but Catalyst choosing not to fight Storm in green guaranteed their loss.
To be completely honest with you,
Yeah,
there is a reason I do not GC games.
yeah,
Wouldn't have picked up on that even if I was out here by myself.
and it's really hard. Like it is really really hard to call that in the game, right?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, because the only reason why Storm would be at green base when you're trying to take it is they've already got yours already.
Yeah.
And again, it's easy for us to see it out here.
Yeah, obviously seeing a scoreboard, hindsight is a thing that you don't have in there.
But you look at Catalyst's score there, they're 2,800 points behind, but they're 2 bases
Yeah.
behind, which means their pack hits were great. If they could have got one more base out of green and stopped Storm getting those last couple of bases, they win this game.
Yeah, it would have been big. Just some notable chats here.
Yeah.
Husky with 179% tag ratio, still holding it down.
Yeah, still holding it down despite the movements.
Even with 25 tags, over 2 tags a minute, really holding it down still.
An unfortunate 2-shot deny on green actually as well there.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Rampus, we should probably mention, like, I feel like Rampus kind of just,
They were in that until maybe like 9.5 minutes.
yeah, I feel like when the rotation of all the bases happened, like, you look at their base stakes and they kind of got...
They didn't finish their dumps.
But yeah, and they kind of got a little bit stuffed up. Like,
Yeah.
the fact they didn't get finished red, I think, is the really
Spider,
interesting...
Cool Beans, and Sad Lamp. That's what? 9K right there?
Yeah, which pulls them really close.
Yeah.
But not finishing that, like, so them not fighting Storm at red and things like that. There's a lot of things to sort of play into that.
Very much so. Very big miss. Although again, with hindsight,
Yeah, look, okay, sorry, it's not even hindsight. It's like, we can talk about it, like, with hindsight. But
Yeah.
even in the game, like, it's a
Yeah.
very hard call to make there. I do think that obviously with Rampus not getting those bases fast enough, they kind of, they struggled a little bit there.
Yeah.
But, well played by everybody. The base swaps happened a little bit earlier than I expected.
it is kind of going into a meta period of let's base swap.
It's base dumps, and I think the key thing is... Pardon? I've been told I need
That
to
would
go
be you.
home. I'm going to go home. But
Nice
there
to
you
meet
go.
you. Be safe.
That's all good. I'll be back. But you're left with this handsome gentleman
For
from
one
the
more
last
game.
game.
One more game. Doesn't even know my name. No, no.
Handsome gentleman.
Okay, I think it's just me. I think there's one more replay game, and then we will be done for the night. Thank you. It is currently 2 in the morning, so a lot going on. Please ignore the Sharks, Dragons, Fire Nation next game. That is a lie. Wildcard is lying to you. Really big game from Storm there. You do see a few things coming out. Can see Lilbo with the highest denials at 3 denials. Dart with the most team kills with 4 team kills. So a lot of interesting statistics. Wax with the most tags, I believe, with 47 doing wax things. And yeah, obviously Husky with that 179% tag ratio. Real big for him. Classic Husky game. He did drop like a 1400% earlier today. He had like 19 straight kills, which is crazy. So a very big game from there. I do believe there is one more replay. And either way, I would like to go to bed. Some notable mentions. Dart with 144% tag ratio. Kind of crazy. Spider 112. Going through it. Moss with 118, obviously being Storm's last line, and Firebird being 117. Straight killing it. Some pretty clean games, to be honest with you. No terms. Obviously, we did have Spider, Cool Beans, and Sadlam all miss the dump red. But obviously, when you're in-game, it can be pretty hectic. And potentially there were people floating around as well. We don't necessarily have arena cam, so it is a little bit hard to validate that. And I will join you when we are back. So I'll throw some music on, and we will join back when the next game is in. And we are back, party people, with the last game of the night. Looks like a Rampage on blue. Looks like one up on green. And I believe that's Aftershock on red. Going through, starting off this game, we have Aftershock. Now Rampus leading. Pack point on pack point. Two-man lock seeing straight out of blue base. So there is a lot happening there. Believe that is Ningi in green base. They're just chilling. I don't know if that's his actual alias or not. Not sure if he kept Twinkles or if Twinkles is no longer in use. We do see Rampus pulling off with a very early 500-point pack lead, which is a little strange because they did have 2 in for a considerable amount of time. You see Gracie there, the referee, just having a look around, having a little poke, seeing if anything looks out of order. I will note, though, Rampus did just play last game, so they must be tired after that, or potentially warm. So, who knows? If they're warm and ready, then that might be even better. We can see Mikey going for his green base and getting it, shooting Guinea on the way in, telling him, this is my base. See a green sneak up and start shooting red. Runt going for it. Nice and quiet, never even saw him coming. Still in, just like this is my base now. A bit of pack point loading. Obviously, Aftershock pulling away, pack point up on 1UP. Rampa still in the mix, being a base down. Coming up to the 2-minute mark, so there is quite a bit happening. Bit of pack points here, bit of pack points there. Just none for me. This should be the last game of the night. Interesting statistic. You can see Aftershock, 73% of their pack points are currently coming from 1UP. See Runt there leading 1UP with a base. Mikey leading Aftershock with a base as well. Blue being kind of left out of the pack point game, I think, as 66% of Aftershock's points are green and 59% of 1UP's shots are on red. Although Ramp is still putting up some impressive numbers, being a base behind. If they did have a base, they would be winning currently. You do see Twinkles there jamming it out in green base. Or stretching, I'm not sure which. Again, you do have to remember, people, it is 2 in the morning. We choose to do this. They've given me too much power. They've left me in this room alone. And I'm going to say some stuff I'm going to regret. Starts talking smack. So we have 11 people watching, allegedly. Glad to catch you at this midnight, well, the 2 in the morning game. Or I put you guys to sleep with my commentary. Either one's very plausible. Going through here. To see Twinkles getting the shot on Zam. Big shot there to hold the base down. Blue looks pretty quiet, to be completely honest with you. Crouchy running in back door of red. You see somebody in that box there. I think that's a dart. Oh, no, that's Cool Beams. Sorry. See Chach running through the back door and taking back her base. Rampus actually pulling ahead of Aftershock, even though they are a base down. I think they've extremely good at pack point, considering Spider is currently 25-7. That's a 357% tag ratio, so really pulling through there. Actually, most people on that team are positive. Obviously, as they are ahead of Aftershock with a base. 1UP's pack points are very distributed, 50-50 in this. Looking pretty quiet in-game. See a red sneak in there. I think that was Holmes getting shot out. And another one getting in. He's shooting. Oh, he gets it. That is an insane base take. I'm not sure what I witnessed, but I did see it. Crouchy now going for his red, getting 2 shots denied. I think that was Zam that got the denial, but I'm not 100% sure. Reds are locked into blue. trying to break this game wide open, down on pack but up on bases. That's my type of game. See red keeping him out of red keeping him out of blue. Oh, getting team shot by Holmes, putting him in a bad situation and getting taken out. I'm not actually sure how Holmes died there, but he did. And now I believe that's Dart is inside the base. Way too early in the morning. No current active chatters. No one wants to talk. I get it. We actually have 15 people now, so we've come up. You see green cracking into blue. They're putting a shot in, 2 shots, and getting denied. Crouchy getting it. Holmes getting his green base. I did mean Crouchy getting denied in blue. My apologies. You see, I believe that's a runt. They're now in green base, playing last line, and they've managed to kick everybody out of blue. Although Aftershock are now starting to build up that base lead. Very base-heavy game for them over pack points. Rampus playing extremely good on pack, only a couple 100 points behind a team with a base, and only a couple 1,000 behind with a team with 3 bases. If they can start getting some bases to their name, there is some really good chance that they're going to pull through here. Don't see anything on the cameras currently. Running through. Do see Twinkles out the back door of red. Twinkles, I believe, made it. He got shot out before getting into Shingus. If you're unsure of Shingus, Shingus is the Dark getting his green base. Sorry to cut off myself. Gunner now going for his red base, getting 2 and 3 in. Do keep in mind it is 2:20 in the morning, and they are still playing good laser tag. I stopped playing good laser tag before the comp started, so we are running it. See, Cool Beans kicking a red out of their base. Green's actually got red base locked down. Looks like they've got at least one. Church gunning in and saying, "This is my base. Get out." I believe that's Mikey now in red, locking it down for them. See a green on front door. Mikey going back and forth, shooting everybody. Good comms coming through his team there. Just knows where they are. Holmes going for his blue as well at the same time. 2 in and 3 in, getting it. No contesting. Spider and 2 blues are now extremely close together inside of red. And getting it. With no problems. Red still ahead. Only 2 bases up from both the other people. 2K down is Rampus, but they are, again, 2 bases down. Ningy or Twinkle's going for his blue. That is such a bait name, hey? Twinkle's going through the blue. Green do have this locked down. Zam looks like he's going for his green and getting denied by a red on backdoor. Must not have had any comms on there. Fuggin now going for his green, getting 3 shots in and taking that base. Rampus now being sent back down to 3rd place, just purely on bases. 1 base down to 1 up, and 3 bases down to Aftershock. Coming into the last minute and some change here. There is a lot that can happen. Charge getting the green, getting 1 shot denied by Guinea there. Church now going for her green, getting 2 shots in on Pillar, and getting the shot on Guinea as well. Looking at pretty strong there. I believe that was Dark getting shot out. I think Guinea put a shot in there and got 1 shot denied by Runt, so that could have been the momentum they needed to catch up or at least get ahead of Rampus. Rampus can definitely pull a second here. I do think it is too late to pull a first. I'm pretty sure Aftershocks got this locked in. Jesse going for his green to really cement that and getting it as well. They are now done with their green. No one's catching them. It is a race for second, and it looks like it's going to come down to pack points here. Instead, Guinea going for his blue. This will cement them in second as well. Rampus need to come back here. They need to go get a green base. And I do see a blue inside of green, so this could be the story. This could be the win that they need. They don't have the time. That's going to end it there. So far up on packs, so far down on bases. Absolutely amazing play by Aftershock. Some nominal mentions. Spider with 168% tag ratio. That's 47 for, 28 against. Absolutely phenomenal game. Zam getting 2 denials, as well as Mikey also getting that 2 denials to tie that. Other notable tag ratios is 110% on Mikey, 114 on Chutch, 109 for Zam, 112 for Gunner. Really big game from a lot of these. Rampus just missing out on the bases. And not hitting their bases hard enough. You can see how steep their worm is. They're keeping up with bases. They just couldn't lay them down to collect. Anyway, I do appreciate you guys for watching. I don't have the power to end the stream, but I will be muting and turning the music on. And I don't know, I might go watch Jurassic World again. So, be safe and, yeah, play laser tag.